you know.
Hey guys, this is Ducky with Punk Unity, and I am with an amazing old school punk rocker who's been around the block several thousand times. Go ahead and introduce yourself, my friend.
My name is Dave Dalton. I'm in a band called the Screaming Bloody Marys, and I'm, I'm just grateful to be on this, and and be recognized. I guess I don't know, but no, just to let you guys know right away, the Marys started in '88. We folded in 2007 because we were tired of each other, and then
I understand that.
we got back in 2015. We Dick Manitoba from the Dictators liked us a lot back in the '90s, and he was making a comeback, so to speak. I don't want to hate using that word. And we played a place in San Francisco called Slim's, and he requested us. And when we got on there, there was all bets were off now,
Nice,
And been,
nice.
been through some member changes and what have you, and singer. We had another singer. I was not supposed to be a singer, Ducky, at all. You know.
Hey, I wasn't either for when I was in a band. I was like, I'm not singing and playing bass.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, well, you're singing and playing bass, and I was like, fuck. But that band was short-lived, so.
Ah, well,
But then,
if you're living
yeah.
out here, we would jam together.
Oh, dude, I'm being pressured. My wife's pressuring me to start doing music again.
You should.
Uh,
Why not?
well, I don't have a choice now. So if she says I have to do it, that's just
You
basically
should.
how it goes.
But I'm 71 years old.
No, you're not.
I'm born in 1953. I've seen it all. I've seen it all.
Oh, this is going to be good.
My one of my first concerts ever was in 1966. I've seen some little garage bands at high school or junior high. And then both my sisters and their boyfriends took me to go see the Beatles in 1966 at the Candlestick Park, their last show, and I was scared shitless, Ducky, because of the screaming. I got emotional,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you know.
I know that feeling. Trust me. One of my first concert, I was like, oh,
Yeah, I mean, they took me there because I remember I seen the Beatles on the telly in 1964. I came home on a Sunday from a boy. I was in the Cub Scouts, whatever. So I come in and everybody's silent around the TV and what's going on? They said the Beatles, and I know nothing about the Beatles. I sat there in front of that television, and they came on. I almost had sweltering tears coming out. It shook me. I took my uniform, and after that was over with, I took my uniform and I threw it in the garbage can. That was it for me. No more Cub Scouts. I wanted to be a rock and roll, a rock and roller. Yeah, with a bunch of jobs.
dude. I mean, that's the life. Um, I just couldn't make it work. I tried, really did, with other
Yeah,
bands, but
yeah.
divorce and
I've been
then
there. I've been there.
kid.
Trust me, I've been there.
Oh yeah, I'm done finally. I've been with my this is my third wife, and yeah, her father basically told us that you guys aren't getting divorced. You're just gonna have to ride it out to the bitter end.
Write it out.
And I was like, okay,
Reinvent
well,
yourself. Fall in love. Every time Jillian, and she does manage a lot of my stuff, my publishing is she can't sing at all. But when she does sing, it's got this Lucille Ball sound, and it makes me fall in love with her because she's taking it serious, and you know what I mean. It
oh yeah,
tickles that, you
oh
know.
dude, I 100% agree. My wife has she went to college for choir and vocal and all that.
Yeah, yeah,
She doesn't sing that much, but when
yeah,
she sings, it's like angels playing the harps. And then I look at her and I was like, hey, kids are asleep, right?
yeah. See, you fall, see, you fall in love again. That's what I
Oh,
say.
every day, man. Every day is a new way to fall in love with her. That's how I look at my life.
You
Every
know,
day's.
it's like when I was a kid. Well, after I seen the Beatles, it was the British invasion for me. It was the Kinks, the Searchers, goes on and on. Then the Beach Boys. I really like the Beach Boys a lot too.
Yeah.
And then as time went on, I think my first legit show, I call it, when I went with some buddies, I got to see bands like, fuck, man, Spiders from Mars with Bowie. I got to see
Damn.
T-Rex. I got to see
Oh,
B Deluxe, Slade with Thin Lizzy. Then I got to see um, like the early punk shows. My favorite punk band is Social Unrest.
nice.
That's my
Nice.
favorite punk band of all time, besides the Sex Pistols. And I've seen them guys two times. Winterland with
Wow.
Sid Vicious, and the other one with Glenn Matlock.
Holy shit. Can
And
you adopt me?
even my sons, I got three sons. David, he's in his 50s, and uh, he's that big deal in teaching and stuff like that. And I got two grandkids, and I got another son, Alan. He collects all the lowrider cars and all that kind of stuff. And
Nice.
he's a big engineer at the Kaiser. And then I have a son, Max. He's a he's a drummer for a punk band called the Vanishing Subs. And now he's more into the jazz now. He wants to get into jazz a lot, you know.
Can understand that. Can
You know.
understand that.
Now, do you have children, Ducky?
I have five.
Okay,
I have,
cool.
I've got a 19-year-old daughter, a soon to be 13-year-old daughter,
Mhm.
a 12-year-old daughter,
Mhm.
a 9-year-old son,
Mhm.
and a 2-year-old daughter.
I
And
like when they're that tiny little guys.
you can have her.
No, no. They're cute, dude. They're like little guys, little feet. And
Man, she is something else. I didn't think at my age we would have a child. Yeah, because
yeah.
we're both in our 40s, and we were like, maybe we should have a kid together. And then some days I'm like, what? But then
Yeah.
there's guys that I know that are in their 50s that are having their first kid.
Oh
So I'm like,
man.
more power to you. Good luck.
Yeah. After Max, that was it for me. After Max, there's an age gap because Max is going to be 18, and the other boys are like in their 40s and 50s. So there was an age gap. But I was with his mom, and I didn't think I'd get her pregnant or whatever, and it just happened, and then, I don't regret it. I love him more than life itself. And
I understand that.
you know what I mean. So, and I've only been married once. That was in the early 70s, and I tell kids, look, man, live your life after you get out of high school. I got married for the wrong reasons when I
Yeah.
was 18 and she was 18, just to get out of the house, you know, and that's for the wrong reasons. I just say, man, enjoy your life. You know, my
Yeah.
son Max is going to be 18. He's got a great stepfather and mom. After he gets out of high school, he's going to go to France for a month to study architect and all that stuff. You
Hell
know,
yeah.
and I really am happy for him. But that's I'm a punk, but I'm a dad too. Dad comes number one.
Of course. I
You know?
completely agree. That's why
Yeah,
just about everybody that's going to be interviewed on this channel is a parent, actually.
yeah,
So,
exactly. You know what I mean? So, I was talking to I was talking to East Bay Ray the other day before he went to Australia. I think he's touring Australia and Spain, and we're talking about how he used to produce us, and he was our first producer from the Kennedys. And we were talking about that, talking about his other band, The Killer Smiles. And then it was really pleasant. We talk once in a while, not all the time, because
yeah.
he's busy, I am too. And again, I talk to Jello once in a while. I run into him because him and Jello are not they're at odds right now, and it's too bad. But we talk once in a while, stuff like that. I just talked to Blag from the Dwarfs the other day.
Oh my God.
He's a fun. He is that guy is like one of my best friends. And when I had my 68th birthday party at the bottom of the hill, I asked him this for shits and giggles. Hey, Black, would you come and sing a song with us on stage? Okay. And I thought he was bullshitting me. He always gets under my skin sometimes. He flew from LA, came straight to the bottom of the hill, took a cab, got on stage,
Wow.
and he did Dairy Queen. It's on YouTube. He did Dairy Queen with us. And
Nice.
that was amazing. You know, I don't ask him for favors that much. Once in a while, I'll ask, hey, would you, if you're around, want to sit in on a song or two? He goes, yeah, I'll come down. You know, and that's a friend. You know.
Yeah, that is. I would agree. That is it's a damn good friend that'll do something like that for you.
What's the
Uh,
best? What's the best show you ever seen?
wow. Honestly, probably Bauhaus.
God, that's man. You lucked out on that one. 'Cause-
I saw them when they were actually touring with Nine Inch Nails,
Wow, that
and
was
they blew Nine Inch Nails out of the water.
of course it did. You know,
That is still my favorite concert of all time.
right.
The atmosphere and the way they
Right.
played, and it was just awesome.
Bauhaus was like one of my favorites. You know, the Batcave stuff.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, that stuff's amazing to
I
listen
got to
to.
see Bauhaus in at the 101 in London. That was like in Jesus. It must have been 80, 81. I don't know. In London, and I was really lucky. I got a sister that lives in England and stuff like that. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
so I got to see a lot of those bands. And then Mary's, my band, the Marys, toured over there several times. We got to open up for some interesting bands. We got to open, of course, our good friends, the Vibrators, the real Vibrators with Knox, UK subs. We got to play with Johnny Thunders over there.
May he
That
rest in peace.
Yeah, May rest right, exactly. And so I had a really good experience going over there, and went there a couple of times. We went to Japan. Japan was interesting because you can only play like 6 shows. They're so small, and we did a split single with the band called Teen Generate on Wallaby Records, and we did some stuff with Guitar Wolf. And plus we came United States, we toured here and there everywhere.
Yeah.
Uh, we
I'm
mean,
impressed you brought up Guitar Wolf. Not many people know about Guitar
man,
Wolf.
I know, right? He's like, to me, he's a Japanese Link Ray.
Oh God, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Ja-
I have
You know what I mean? And I talked to his Link Ray. I used to own a label called Die Laughing Records. I don't know
okay.
if you can look it up. I sold it a long time ago, and I just got rid of it. After a while, Ducky, it was like a thankless job.
Yeah.
I had a staff and everything. And on the label, I had some good bands. I had Fang, Pearl Harbor, had East Bay Rave, the Kennedys, the Vibrators. I had uh, did a couple things, some singles with the Muffs. God bless her, she's passed away some. And I think I did all right. I had my own podcast, but I got tired, Ducky, of getting on a podcast, running a label, this, that, whatever, uh, playing music, But yeah, I've been in music all my life. I think, um, in again, I'm having fun along the way too. Still at 71, you
That's
know.
pretty amazing. Most people in our community don't get to say that they live to be 71 and still love what they're doing.
Exactly. I mean, we got some big shows coming up here in the Sacramento area. It's called the Midnight Mass, and they haven't had that since COVID. And it's a big giant hot rod, low riding rat rod show, big stage, bands, and they invited us, and I told them, look, we're not rockabilly or we're not country or western because a lot of those bands play there.
Yeah.
But the staff goes, no, we've heard about you guys. We've seen you when you were touring Marky Ramone. We like the energy. So I said, all right. So we're gonna right in the middle of all this roots and rockabilly, which is fine. I love it.
Oh yeah.
I want to shake it up a bit. And then we have a show. We have a show with the Dickies in August, and a couple of shows in December, I guess, with our label mates, Frightwig. Frightwig was like the early grunge type girl band, way
Okay.
before, way before Hole and all that. You know, the label that I'm on is called 51 Recordings 51 Records. They're out of Colorado, and they have all kinds of big bands, small bands. But those guys do you right. They're taking care of all my publishing, all my writings. So somebody's finally taking care of me after so many years. You know, and I really, and like I said, Frightwig's our label mate. Wall of Voodoo, the old punk band Wall of Voodoo's on there. There's a bunch of bands and stuff, and but they take care of us.
That's
It's
good to hear.
like an indie major. You know what I mean? So,
I mean,
uh,
that's to me,
you know,
that's refreshing to be treated right because as musicians, you put so much blood, sweat, and tears,
yeah,
and then the guys higher up the food chain are just kind of like, "Eh, we've heard it. Next." You're just
yeah.
like, "What the fuck?"
Ducky, I've been on labels. It's a pretty good label. I've been on a label called Sympathy for the Record Industry.
I think I've
Sympathy,
heard of them.
they're out of Long Beach, or they were, and it was like a Southern California big indie label, right when Sub Pop came out. And on that label, you look it up on Google. They had like Hole, they had like the Melvins, the Dwarfs, Bad Religion. All he did was 7-inch singles. And when he heard us, this is like in '90, I think, he wanted to put out a single with us immediately, you know. And he was really good. His name is Long Gone John. Then we went to a label called Dr. Dream Records out of Orange, um, California. And the guy that helped us get signed was a guy named Maurice. I think he was in the Manic Hispanic, and Steve Soto from the Adolescents. He was our A&R at the time. God bless.
Nice.
Yeah, he was our A&R, and he got us signed on that. And so we did pretty good, and then we were just doing singles throughout. No, I'm going to move forward a little bit. When Dr. Dream put out a record called Get In, Get Off, Get Out on CD, I thought it was a big deal for me. Okay, cool. And I always said, man, I want that record to be on vinyl. So now we're here, and
Right.
a beautiful gentleman named Andy Zicklin, that he's one of the CEO, well, he is the CEO at 51 Records. He contacted me about a year ago and goes, hey, man, this is Andy, da da da. I've seen you guys played in San Francisco at certain clubs back in the 90s. And he goes, I want to re-release your record. I said, do it, but as long as it's on vinyl. And he he gave us a 12-inch vinyl splattered and all that. Have you seen the record on my Facebook? I'm like this,
Mhm.
it's blood dripping around.
Oh yeah, I like it. Honestly, it's amazing looking.
It's
It. I don't collect vinyl. I really don't. Probably because I don't have anywhere to put it right now. Because
yeah.
as you can tell, I am not in my studio. I am in the
Yeah,
laundry room.
I'm in my office upstairs and it's a mess. I have Marshall cabinets and high watts and guitars over there.
It's
When I started to die laughing, I was sitting just where you're at, near the wash machine, and had a poster that said "Die Laughing" on it. You know,
uh, we're still
but
trying to get everything. We're not in our new house yet,
yeah, yeah.
and then once we get in there, I can set up my posters and all this, and not be sponsored by laundry detergent companies in the background.
I think it's kind of cool myself. I think it's kind of
I
cool.
appreciate it. I
Yeah, I think it's
appreciate it.
cool, cool. But I'm having a real good time now since Andy hooked me up with his label, and there's a bunch of guys involved. Bill Hines, he used to work with Enigma and Geffen Records, uh, and a bunch of guys that know what the hell they're doing, really know what they're doing. And now the marriage is revamped. Um, Unfortunately, I'm still singing and playing guitar. I have a guitar player named Mike Trungali. He was in the band. He was in a band called The Next out of the late '70s, early '80s. Even several years ago, they started it up again, and he's a great guitar player. And he was in that documentary, the Sex Pistols DOA documentary.
I own it, but I hate to say I have not watched it yet.
Well, if you watch it one of these days, there's in the middle of it, they're playing at the Mad, and there's a guy that's dressed like a nun, and behind him there's a guy floating behind him on the flying with a flying V. That's Mike, my guitar player, and
Oh,
he's
okay.
he's in that video. And then I have a young man named Gabe Gee, and he's in a band called Get the Wall. Oh yeah,
Okay.
and he's a great bass player. How I met him, Ducky, we played with Marky Ramone last year at this real nice, cool theater. Our agent put us on it, and we played and this and that. And he was in the audience with his wife, and he told his wife, he told me this. He told his wife, "I want to be in the band just like that. Those guys are exciting," and this, and I was flattered. I said, so I met him at about 2 weeks later. I met him at Safeway shopping center store. I went grocery shopping with my missus and stuff. And here he is down. And he goes, "Dave, you're in the Screaming Bloody Marys." I go, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." So we started talking, Ducky, and I said, "Look, do you play music?" He goes, "Yeah, I play bass." I go, "All right, here's my number." And this is a true story. I go, "I'm gonna give me your email. I'm gonna give you 12 songs to learn." What? "Yeah, I want you to be in the next show. We're playing with DI, you know." And so he goes, he freaked out. So he learned them like that. We get along perfect because the bass player I had, he was good, but it was just a little too office. He just wouldn't be part of a group, you know.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's
you know what I mean? You got to have a
yeah.
comp, right? And then,
Yeah, with a band's like a marriage, basically. You have
yeah,
to,
yeah,
and a lot of people don't understand that I'm in a freaking van with these guys 7 days a week. We all probably haven't had a shower in God knows how long, and we're all tired. We're all hungry. We're tired of
yeah,
fast food.
yeah.
And then we all got wives at home that keep texting us, when the hell are you coming home? When are you going
When
to be an adult?
I need some money, I need some money, or something like that, you know. And
Yeah.
we had these responsibilities. So everything was going good. Then we had a drummer. Um, she was a good drummer. It's just that we parted ways, musical differences, and I really loved that drumming of hers. And so one day, Andy Gillian, he was the original drummer, and he started Death Angel, the metal band.
Nice.
And
Nice.
so he came to the Marky Ramone show. We've always been friends. I've known him since he was 14. And then I call him up, "Hey man, I need you." "Yeah, man, I've always wanted to join your band." Yeah, I go, "Wow." He doesn't play with Death Angel because he doesn't want to tour or go. I mean, that's my story. The story he told me. He just wants to play local, play with some friends and stuff, you know. And yeah, Andy, he's brought us more tighter. You're only as good as your drummer. That's what they say.
That's
You know,
true.
I
That is
think
true.
Joe Strummer said that too. You're only as good as your drummer. So now we're here. We're going to be recording a couple of songs because we're going to do a 12-inch split record with the Street Walking Cheetahs.
Okay.
And so Frank called me up one day. He goes, "Hey, Dave, you want to do a 7-inch single?" I go, "Fuck that, dude. Let's do a 12-inch. I don't want to do a 7-inch, man. I have a ton of them in the corner." And he goes, "You know a label?" I go, "Well, you're coming to me to see if you want to do this. I thought you had a label." He goes, "Well, I'm coming to you because you know people." So I said, "Let me call my label up and see what this is." So I called my label at 51, and Andy Zickman, the guy, he goes, "I'm down for it. I'm down for it." And he goes, "When you guys want to get it out?" "Well, how about we do it like next year? We'll record it, give you the masters, work it out, and, you know, be a release for next year." And the thing about that label, Ducky, they have their own pressing plant. So
Really?
we don't have to wait a year to get vinyl. They have their own pressing plant. I mean, they have clients and stuff, but they own it. They own that pressing plant in Croatia.
That is actually pretty. You don't hear that often.
No, you don't.
I, God, yeah, no. When I owned a record label, we had to outsource everything,
Yep.
and it was. I loved Hold on.
Now go
I
ahead.
need a
Yeah, yeah.
little vodka tonic for this story. Oof. So, I started off in punk music,
Yeah, yeah.
but as I progressed, I got more into death metal and
Okay.
doing death metal bands and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I was in various death metal bands. Um, did the touring with all that crap and dealing
Yeah,
with
yeah,
all that scene. And don't get me wrong, some of it was fun. And then a buddy of mine was like, we were buddies, but at the same time, not actually like friends.
yeah, 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 yeah.
There was this local musician, not local to us, but in our little metal community that was struggling to get attention.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I'll help you out. I'll start a record label. I'll help you out. And he was like, okay, cool, great, great, great. And then my buddy jumps in and we're starting to get stuff out. And out of nowhere, this really humble human being becomes a Tyrannosaurus drama queen.
Ah, out.
And like, we got you on these high Facebook channels or these YouTube channels. We got
Yeah.
you all these interviews. We got you all this distribution. We got the rights back from your other label that screwed you
Right,
over. And I had to take a sabbatical. My mental health was not where it needed to be. So
right,
I needed to step back.
right, right.
And this artist's wife hopped in to help cover the PR stuff and some of the other
Yeah,
things. And after I came back, dealing with my mental health issues and everything that happened with my wife,
right.
they were basically like, oh, well, you don't own the label anymore. We do.
Oh, Jesus.
And I said, excuse me? They're like, yeah, we have everything copyrighted in our name and licensed and everything. So you're done. Bye.
See, that there, Ducky, I've been through that. Die Laughing Records, my partner Rob, this label from down under in Australia, I don't want to mention their name, they merged with us. They were going to give us this, give us that, help us out, blah, 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 blah. And at the end of the day, I was hearing from one of the staff members, they're trying to take the label from me and my LLC. And I put the brakes in that fucking shit because I have in my family, there was a lawyer that does strictly music and contracts like that. And he put the brakes on them guys. And I've been there. And it almost broke my heart because I own that name, Die Laughing Records. I still have the LLC. I can start it up right now, but I'm not doing it. At my age, fuck no, man. If you're starting a label when you're young, it, you better have all your faculties together and have some
Yeah.
finance behind you. There is a label I give props to. It's called uh, Bad. It's called Bad Soul Records or Soul something like that. Records out of Los Angeles, and this guy named Ryan Pena. He's doing it right. He comes to me for advice, and I really like. That's gonna be a good label. I think it's called Bad Soul Records. I'm not really sure, but if you're gonna do something like I said, you better have your shit together, have some finances behind it, and don't sign every band or don't sign all your friends' bands.
That's what I tried to tell them. And they didn't listen to me. Like, in the, oh my God, in the talent I found, the guys that could actually go forward,
Yeah.
oh, we don't like this one band. Why? Well, it's just a one guy and he uses a drum machine. Okay,
If
but
he's
have
gonna
you
sell
seen?
some merch, if he's gonna sell units and you get behind it,
I
you
was
know,
like, who cares? But then when they get rid of me, guess who they sign? Him.
yeah, exactly.
And my depression, even after everything was, it crushed my soul. All
Yeah.
my hard work down the drain. And I told my wife, I was like, I'm not doing this again. I said, fuck
Yeah.
the metal community, fuck this, fuck that. And I
No.
went into a deep depression about it. And then my wife kicked me in the ass, said, you got to get out of this.
Yeah, get the fuck out, man. You know,
And she,
my wife, Jillian, when Die Laughing was really humming through, man, they were doing it until we hooked up with these fucking guys. She wanted to get more involved because she would cross the T's and dot the I's and sign the checks for me. I go, why don't you start your own label, Joe? What? So we got her. I started her label called Chicanery Chick Records, and she had some really good people on it. She had the band called the Dogs from Detroit. She had the Pandoras, the the garage band. I think it's the Pandoras. I forget the name. I think it's Pandoras or Checkered Checkered Hearts or something. I don't know that shit. And she was doing really good until we hooked up with those guys,
Yep.
and those guys didn't really like a woman running a label.
What?
Guys are really, you're in Australia, and those guys are 30 years behind times, man. They're and I, we shut everything down, but I don't want to go off the beaten path. But I back all women in music.
I
I
do
don't,
too.
I don't care if it's hip hop, punk, blues. They have the toughest fucking time,
They do.
and and I really back them all. On my label, I had more fronted or women bands on my label. I didn't even know. One girl goes, I forget who it was, uh, Pearl Harbor, and she's been around since the late 70s. She goes, Dave, you ever look at your label, how many girlfriended or girl bands? I go, no, I don't look at that. I just go, holy crap. Because there's talent there. There was talent. But as time went on, Ducky, the demand, I couldn't keep up. You know, I don't have deep pockets, man, at that time.
I don't either. I don't have deep pockets anymore, or I don't think I ever had deep pockets. Come to think about, with my blue collar background,
Well,
I,
yeah, I'm blue collar. Um,
I, I
I'm,
mean,
I'm a retired Teamster.
okay, okay.
I was a shop steward, retired Teamster, and I still play music at night. I still work with little indie labels and stuff, that because that was my passion. And I lost a lot of girlfriends and a marriage over that, you know. But now I'm here and I'm enjoying myself now, you know.
That's what's most important, is that you're enjoying yourself and
Yeah,
you're supported by the one you love. That's the most important thing.
exactly. Right. And
Um, and that's why I'm thankful for my wife, even though she gets pissed at me. She's like, "Why don't you play music again?" And I'll come up with all these scenarios in my head. Well, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. There's no punk scene around here. There's no musicians. And she was like, okay, well, it's the modern world. Technology's available. She's like,
exactly.
go
Ducky.
find people online,
Yeah.
record, and
Hello.
don't worry. I was like,
Hey, look at
all right,
Ducky. Ducky, back in my, how old are you, Ducky?
I'll be 43 in November.
Back in the old days, we didn't have fucking computers in the 80s and shit, you know? We went word of mouth looking for musicians. Today's technology, if you have a drum machine or you have something like that, you can play your bass and go along with a roll and record stuff. There's a vast variety of it, man. There really is, you
There
know?
is, there is. It's just me trying to get over my self-esteem issues.
Okay, I got you. I've been there.
Uh, Being beat down and everything, and
Yeah.
trying to believe in myself once again.
Oh, you will. You will. You have to give yourself a timeout and then enjoy your family. And if something's going to click in your head like that, you're going to pick up your bass or whatever, and you're going to start hitting that one chord. And you're going to, oh man, I like this. Even just disappear in your room, bedroom, or here for an hour or 45 minutes and just play a little bit. Do a scale here and there, put it away. That's your first practice. Get your self esteem going back again, man. And then find a drummer or find somebody that can just play a snare drum. You know, when I have the Marys can't play all the time. We only play specific shows. I'm not a weekend warrior. The Marys aren't set up to play
Yeah,
certain places. So I have a side band called the Unfortunate Bastard Friends, and that's kind of like a semi-acoustic electric thing. It has a little bit of variety, like the Pogues has that kind of a Hank Williams Jr. the third type stuff.
kind of like
And
a folk punk thing.
yeah,
Is
folk,
what
yeah,
people.
busking, yeah, busker punk or whatever you want to call it. And I got friends that sit in. I've had like Black Dahlia from the Dwarves, Nick Oliveri sit in with me. All these things. Matter of fact, Nick Oliveri, we're doing a show in December with Frank Meyer from the Streetwalking Cheetahs country band, Nick Oliveri, the Unfortunate Bastards. So what you do, if you can just play your bass, you play acoustic or no?
Um, so here, let's talk about my bass playing.
No, 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 no.
I can read tabs, but I don't know notes. I don't know
Okay, all right,
keys or
all right.
anything or any scales.
Yeah,
When I was playing in, my punk band was called For a Good Time Call.
okay.
Um, and I took that name out of, those sleazy phone sex ads you would find. There's like For a Good Time Call. And I was like, I'm taking that name. And I did. I copyrighted it. I still hold the copyright to that band name. I'm the
Yeah,
only surviving member of that band that's
yeah.
not either in prison or a registered sex offender or dead. So I was like, hmm. So I found, I think it was last week, I found a box of all the lyrics that I had written.
Jay?
And I was like, I found all that stuff. I've got a bass. My wife has, we've got several pianos.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
got acoustic guitars out the wazoo. We've got electric guitars out of the wazoo. And she was like, you should just do it. And I'm like, easier said than done, in my opinion, but okay.
You should.
But
You're beating what you're doing. You're creating a wall for yourself because it might be an insecurity. I don't know, man. It's not failure, bro. The last band you were in, those guys snubbed on you or whatever they did to you. Fuck that. You control your destiny and what you want to play. That's
I see,
me. Okay.
that's what it,
You control your destiny. You can either look at the guitar sitting on the wall or pick it up for a few minutes and play and go, all right, this is great. That served me right. Then you go eat your dinner and stuff, and you feel like, well, I did something today. You know, that's what I mean. I don't know. I know some tabs, I know some chords. But if somebody said, "Hey, give me a G7, blah blah blah," just play it for me. Once they hit it, okay, I got it. Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick doesn't know
oh
how
yeah,
to he doesn't know how to read music.
I don't blame him.
He
But
does
he's an
not know.
amazing guitarist.
Fucking great guitar. 'Cause I met him at NAMM years ago, and I've seen Cheap Trick when they first toured out in San Francisco in '77. And he doesn't know how to read, but he is an amazing guitarist. He's so
Oh
underrated,
yeah,
you know.
very underrated. He
And
doesn't get the props he deserves.
exactly. I think Keith Richards is an amazing guitarist. People goes, well, he's boring. He's like not fast. I go, it's not being fast. It's what he's made. He writes songs. He's a
Yeah,
writer, you know.
yeah.
And like one of my favorite, I have three favorite guitar players of all time. That's Jeff Beck. And I've seen Jeff Beck with Rod Stewart back in '68, '69. Uh, Steve Jones of the Sex Pistols. I mean, he's self-taught himself and he's fucking phenomenal,
Yep.
right? And there's a guy I really like a lot in Social Unrest. His name is Danny Norwood. Great guitar player. And he played with me in a couple of shows with the Screaming Bloody Marys. And but those are the guitar players I like. I do like other ones like Mick Ronson from the Spiders and this and that.
Yeah. I
Uh,
would say, go ahead. I'm
no,
sorry.
no, 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 go on, go ahead.
I would say my go-to guitarist, and it's really weird. Some people will talk smack about him,
No, no, no.
uh, but Mike from Social Distortion.
Oh, Mike's good. Yeah, I like Mike.
Uh, Seen
That's right.
him,
Yeah,
talked to him, and oh my God, I forgot his Chuck from Hot Water Music.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh, on my 21st birthday, they were playing it was like it was when Chuck was just doing acoustic stuff.
yeah,
They
yeah, yeah,
called it it was like a folk punk revival was the name of the tour.
yeah.
Um 2 months out of getting my first divorce, a friend of me's like, hey, we're gonna go see this show tonight. I was like, whatever. Yeah, okay, sure. Blah blah blah. Fucking Chuck Reagan from Hot Water Music was headlining the show.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had a great time at the show, saw a lot of great bands, and I'm at the bar And all of a sudden, I feel this guy tap me on the shoulder, and he was like, "Hey, man." I was like, "Hey." He's like, "Happy birthday." I was like, "Thanks." I was like, "You're fucking Chuck Reagan." He's like, "Yeah, I know who I
Hey,
am."
hey.
He's like, "But," he's like, "I know it's your birthday," and it's like, "That's why we played that song for you."
Oh,
He's like,
see?
and he's like, "Man," he's like, "I just want to know. I know you're going through some shit, brother." He's like, "But let the music heal you." And
Yeah.
I cried, and he
Yeah.
gave me a hug, and I just cried like a baby hearing something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
So
So
like social distortion, we played with them several times back in the early 90s. Like the Marys came out like in 88 or whatever. We hit that garage punk but grunge. They lumped us in and all that, you know.
yeah,
And we got a chance to play with some good bands. We got to play with like, Soundgarden, um, Tad, L7 and stuff like that.
the notorious L7.
Yeah, and that kind of thing. And so, when the Marys were doing good until about I think the 90s, or I forgot when. Then we took a sabbatical because everybody hated each other. And we're
Yeah.
working on the second album for Dr. Dream, and we all hated each other. Whatever. I started the band called Cell Block Five, and we did like three albums. My guitar player was name is Morgan Alm. He was the lead guitarist for that metal band out of Sweden called Silver Mountain,
Okay.
and he was with me. Then my nephew played bass, and my nephew didn't know a note, but he had that good Dee Dee Ramone tone I like. And we had some drummer guy. So I like Cell Block Five a lot, and we were doing really good. We were playing with a bunch of big bands, man. The Addicts, English Dogs, just exploited on and on. It was more. We were going towards more oi. It was a little bit on
Yeah.
that, and then we imploded, and I moved to Southern California with that band name, and I met a lot of people there in Southern California for 5 years. A lot of connections, and to this day, those people I met, I'm good friends with them to this day. Now the Marys are back, and they help me out with this stuff. It's all a spider web in a good way, Ducky, and that's what it's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to you.
It would be awesome, but there's no scene here anymore where I live. The
Now, where do
scene
you live at?
had
Where do you live at, Ducky?
I'm in Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, okay. Hold it. Time out. You're gonna hear a funny fucking story, okay?
Please, I love to hear stories about this
Okay.
place.
I was okay, how can I say this? When I was a little kid, about 5, 6, 7 years old or whatever, our family moved from California because my dad said there was coal mining in Alabama because his brother lived there. Come on out, you make a fortune. So imagine I come from a big family, bro, 9 kids, mom and dad. We're all packed in this big old station wagon or whatever. And we moved out to, of all places, not, we moved to Dora, Alabama,
You
Dora.
know exactly where that's at.
So we move out there. All I remember, we lived in like a home cabin. In the middle of the room, there was a coal like stove because it was
Yep.
cold out there. And I remember the truck, this big dump truck used to come every month and dump coal on the side of the house. you know, so I know exactly, and I know exactly. Nobody gave us a bad time. I met some good friends, and I met a couple of bad people, but yeah, I remember Dora, Alabama.
Well,
And
the funny, I,
you're from Birmingham?
I'm from Birmingham. I was born and raised in Birmingham.
Okay.
I was adopted when I was 3 months old by my mother's grandparents.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So they raised me as their own, had a good childhood, got some interesting lessons from both of them because both my grandparents were a bunch of hillbillies.
Yeah,
My dad, I call him my dad, of course.
yeah.
used to run moonshine for his dad,
Oh, yeah, sure.
and then he got into racing cars.
Yeah,
Then he
yeah,
joined the Navy and
yeah.
all that stuff. And my mom was a straight up, I will knock your teeth out type of woman if you look at her the wrong way. She
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
mean by any means, but
No, no, that's she has to stand her ground. She's a tough, especially living in those times. My dad was in the Navy. He fought in World War II against um, the Nazis and stuff like that. I met his father. I only met my grandfather, his dad, once, and he was a big, tall, oaky type guy, hillbilly. And he every time I say hi to him, he go, "Arr, arr." you know, it was interesting, as a kid. But then we moved back to California, and 'cause my mom wanted, she goes, I can't live here anymore. And my mom loved my dad's sisters and stuff. She goes, I like their accents. They have that hillbilly accent, Yonder, we're gonna go down to the holler. He lives in that.
yep,
Yeah, I learned a lot,
y'all.
y'all, and I really learned a lot of that stuff as a kid. You know, and I'm not embarrassed to say that. I kind of liked it. We lived down this big old dirt road, kind of foggy woods, and there's our little cabin. And you know what? I gotta tell you, Ducky, I used to like to smell the burnt of the coal and the wood. I don't know why I
Oh
liked
yeah,
it.
for me it's relaxing. Like right now, um, so last year ago, my father-in-law passed away.
No, I'm sorry.
Um, I appreciate that. Me and him were very close. He was like
Yeah.
the second father in my life.
Oh,
So he passed away, but he left 30 acres of land for my wife and me.
all
And
right.
I was like, okay, so this past year we've got a house that's on there now. We're just waiting for them to put in the power, the water, and the
Yeah,
septic.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
No neighbors. And I have seen so many deer and raccoons and possums.
yeah.
And the deer, I swear I was 10 feet away, and the deer just looked at me and I was like, all right, hey. He just looked at me and just walked off. And I was like, I'm going to love it out here. I'm going to love it out here.
That's amazing. It's part of life. We all go through these bits and pieces all over the place. You know what I mean? And that's how you learn. That's how you learn to live. I might be in this one part of the world, and all of a sudden over here. And I was in New York in the mid '80s for about 3 months. I liked it. I lived in a little one bedroom apartment, and I'm self sufficient. And I ran into people. You ran into like Dee Ramon or walking down the street. I live in the Bowery. And it was kind of a poor part of town, but I kept everybody was cool to me, and I just kept to myself. I was going to live in the Chelsea hotel, but it was filled up. So I've been there. Um, uh, I like going to New Orleans. Um,
Have not been yet.
you know, I went to. I was going back there several years because of Johnny Thunders, and he died in New Orleans. He died in that little hotel, and I stayed in that room where he died. And there's no ghost, there's no nothing. It's just I really liked him a lot, and he was, I know he was devious at times, but he was very kind to me. You know, so I've experienced that, and yeah, you just keep living. You know,
That's you don't have that option a lot of the times in life, and
no, you
especially
don't.
when you're a parent, you've got to just tighten up your bootstraps.
Oh yeah, you do. You got to, man.
Putting
I'm just fortunate I can do things right now because I have no little ones. The little ones are grown and they have their own kids. I'm a grandpa and stuff too.
okay, you are a grandpa because I'm gonna send my 2-year-old to you so you can have fun with her.
you know, but do you ever collect vinyl record?
I've wanted to for the longest time, but the prices of vinyl are just phenomenal these days. And I have a vinyl record player,
Yeah.
but we when uh before we moved in right now we're at my mother-in-law's house because when
Yeah, yeah.
dad passed away, we moved in to help her out, and now we're about to finally move on to our own place. All of our stuff is in storage still, packed
Uh,
away. Like all my albums, all my CDs. I've got I don't know how many thousands of punk CDs out there in my
mhm.
storage unit. Just I guess spiders and cockroaches are enjoying them right now. It breaks my heart, but
Yeah,
kind of is what it is. But I would like to start collecting vinyl
I love
at
vinyl.
some point.
All against the wall over there. That's just one wall. I collect bootleg records, acetates, test pressings, imports, all kinds, everything. And I've been collecting that for many, 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 many years. It seemed like every day a piece of vinyl will come to the house because I go online and bid on it. A bootleg. I like bootlegs. I just love it. Um, I just don't like. I love punk. I love punk, but
Yeah.
I do like when I was growing up before punk came out. I was listening to like British bands like Humble Pie, The Faces, Spiders from
Oh, love the faces.
The Faces. And let me tell you something. You can go online, look at my pictures. I used to book Ian McLagan, the keyboard player for the Faces, before he died.
Mm.
I,
I
I I booked him Northern California tour. He stayed with me. Nicest guy you want to meet. Um, so I collect all that stuff. I've seen the Faces close to about 5 times. You know, um, I just love all that stuff, Ducky. If I go to a swap meet and I see something, the other day there was this. I don't know if you know these guys, but Dave Mason. He was Dave Mason. He's played with Crosby, Stills and Nash, and he sat and he had his. I think it was in. I want to say Traffic. Maybe I'm wrong, but I seen this record. It came out in '72, and the guy was selling it for $20. I opened it up. It was marble. I was like one of the first color vinyl rock albums, and it was mint. It came with a poster and a cutout and everything, and a pop up of him playing guitar. So I bought it. So
nice.
once it's great, you know. I brought it home, played it, had a cup of coffee. You know, that's my that's my relaxation instead of doing dope and shit.
Yeah, yeah. I
I did back 30 years ago, and I'm clean and sober.
I'm proud of you. I'm really proud of you. I'm really
Did
proud of you.
heroin. That was my drug at that time.
Not a lot of people can say that. No,
Uh,
you're one of my heroes for being able to do that.
well, I just I got tired of it. I got sick one day. I had a thing called cotton fever. Is when you strain your dope and there's a cotton swab. It's a big setup. You gotta strain it and use cotton. You can't see it with the naked eye, but one of the fibers got cut in the needle. So when I was shooting my dope, the cotton, that little fiber went in, and it takes about 2 weeks to go through a system. You're sick, 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 and you're hoping when it passes through your heart, you're not going to die. You know, so I stopped it right there. And people are going to see this interview, and I don't care.
Oh, no, you I mean
I don't give a fuck.
this is all about just being yourself. I'm not I've been a music journalist for 10 maybe 20 years.
Yeah,
Talked to a lot of bands, did a lot of reviews, and when it came to me doing my own YouTube channel and interviewing bands, I was like, you know
yeah,
what? All that shit most people do, fuck it. I just
right.
want to have good conversation,
That's it.
good people.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's it.
No ulterior motive, no hidden agendas, bullshit.
Yeah.
Because
I don't need it.
the problem I see with like most interviews is they're boring as fuck to me. Well, tell me about this. Motherfucker, just tell me what is on your mind. Let me know what you've
Yeah,
experienced. Let me know how things are
yeah.
going. You got funny stories. Cool. I want to hear it. You got a bitch ex wife, pardon my French. Fuck
Yeah.
it. I got one too. So,
I just, I just like life. I like music a lot. Like I said, I collect vinyl, a lot of vinyl. I collect guitars. Matter of fact, you like the Faces, right? I got a guitar that Ronnie Wood has called the Zamades with the metal
Oh
top.
my.
I have one sitting over there. That's my main guitar. And so, you know, a lot of kids, I'll talk to kids, and like there was this bass player I played with in another band. Her name is Naomi, nicest person, good bass player, mellow. And I would say, man, you sound like this person or that person. You sound like the bass player from Mott the Hoople, man. She goes, who? Mott the Hoople, and she's writing it down. And I'm going, you sound like that. And she would go and listen to these things. She goes, man, I like that band Mott the Hoople. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You signals out to youngsters, that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Well,
So,
see, I've been introducing my kids, God knows how long, to punk music.
yeah.
Um, because I remember the first punk song I ever heard. I was 15 years old. It was on the local radio program, and it was the Misfits' "Last Caress."
Oh, I love that song.
And
I
I
love
was like, fucking hooked. I had to go to the local record store. I had to find everything by those guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Then
yeah,
the Ramones, I got their stuff. Then
yeah,
some of the other bands that came out, like NoFX and
yeah,
Bad Religion.
yeah,
If it was punk, I was buying it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't care how Sex Pistols were up there, The
I love it.
Clash.
I love I love Nevermind the Bollocks. Everybody says, yeah, that band was put together by McLaren. Okay, big deal. That fucking album, Nevermind the Bollocks, every song to me is stellar. You'll never see a record like that again. And I'm glad they didn't make another record.
Me too. Me too.
That's an amazing record. Um, the band The Vibrators, I like their stuff a lot. I used to book the Vibrators a lot. But I think the Sex Pistols, and again, if you ever have a chance, go online, go to YouTube, and look up Social Unrest, Rat in a Maze. That's
Okay,
punk.
I will. I
That's
will
fucking
actually make
punk.
a note of that.
That is punk, man. Social Unrest, Rat in a Maze. Um, there's a lot of, I mean, to me, that's to me, it's punk rock. Um,
But
I mean, I like Minor Threat, Fugazi, I like Bad Brains, things like that.
Bad Brains is pretty amazing, especially for at the time they came out doing what they
Oh,
did. Much
they're
respect to them.
yeah, we. I know the Marys. We opened up for a couple of shows with HR, the reggae stuff, and he was good for what he did on the reggae stuff. But there were a lot of kids there who wanted to see him jump around, and I'm sitting there going, "This guy's like my age, man," you know. But
Yeah, that was back when he was doing he was calling it Soul Brains or
yeah,
something like
Sobering,
that.
yeah, yeah, Sobering,
Yeah,
yeah,
I saw him when they
yeah,
came here. I saw that and I didn't know what I was getting into, but I like reggae, so
yeah.
I was happy.
I love
So,
reggae. I think one of the best shows I've seen was one of his almost last show at the Oakland Auditorium here in Oakland, California. Bob Marley and the Wailers. Bob Marley. It was one of his last shows, and who jumped on stage was Ronnie Wood from the Faces and the Stones jumped on stage, and they blew me away. Fucking, that was Bob Marley and the Meters and Toots and the Maytals. You
oh
know,
yeah.
we there's a lot of good stuff out there. I remember Rude Boy, all the Rude Boy stuff was coming out, the specials.
Yep.
What's the one, Buster, Bad
King
Man,
Buster,
Bad
Bad
Manners,
Manners,
Bad
uh,
Manners,
King Buster,
and there was special
Laurel
Selector,
Atkin.
yeah,
Was it?
Selector, yeah, all
Yeah.
those bands that came out. I was just like, wow, it's good. I mean, when the specials came out, I just fell in love with them.
Oh yeah.
I just did some shows with Roddy Radiation last year. Roddy,
Nice.
and such a nice guy, man. We supported him, and automatically when we went to sound check, he came up to me and go, "Hey, Dave," hugged me, and his mom, God bless her, she passed away some couple of days ago. Roddy's mom, and
Sorry to
so
hear that.
I was talking to him a little bit. And I booked some really crazy shows because I booked a lot. And once in a while, I'll still book. I booked, like I said, Ian McLagan from The Faces, Kiefer Sutherland, the actor. He's got a good rock. He's got a good country band. I booked Keanu Reeves. back in the day. Um,
Was
I
that
like,
when he was playing for Stardog
yeah, Dog Star.
or Dog Star?
Yeah.
Yes.
But I booked him about 10 years ago. Now he's back again. I booked English Dogs, The Exploited, Discharge. I booked a lot of those bands, the Oi bands and stuff. And
And this is the was it this is the Exploited are doing their last tour. They're retiring officially
I
after
think
this
so,
last
yeah.
tour.
I believe so.
Because
Roddy, yeah, he had that heart attack years ago on stage and that kind of thing. It's like, and I talked to Knox, the singer from the Vibrators. Knox is almost he's 80 something years old, and he runs a little store in London. It's a secondhand store and stuff. And I talk to him once in a while, and he's doing good. Um, I was supposed to go over there a couple of years ago to play an couple acoustic shows, and I was going to play at his little shop because he had a little sound stage, but I couldn't make it because of the COVID and shit.
yeah,
But I like a lot of the British bands. And the American bands, um, I love the Kennedys. I like the Addicts, even though the Addicts are from Europe, but they live here.
yeah.
And I like Di, Dickies, Adolescents. There's other bands too, like Shattered Faith. A lot of these kind of bands. The New York bands I like. I mean, the Ramones in Wayne County and stuff like that.
What
Um,
about New York Dolls?
New York Dolls, I like them. I bought I bought their first album. I was at a record shop called Banana Records, and they had the record. They had like at that time they had Bob Seger and they had Allman Brothers, and all of a sudden New York Dolls are way down there, like they're hiding it. I go, fuck, I like this. I heard about them, but I looked at it, I go, I want this. So I bring it up to the cash register, and the guy goes, "Hey, look, he bought this New York Dolls thing," and there were some guys that wanted to beat me up because I bought it. Those guys are gay, and I must got beat up. And I got my record and I left. you know how I
Oh,
discovered some punk. There was a movie actor called Tully Savalas. I don't know if you know who he is. Tully Savalas. He
I
was
think
in
so.
he was in a sitcom called. He was in a um, episode. It was a Kojak. His name is. They call him Kojak. So it was a Friday night after the late night news, 11:30. It was like I don't know. It was like a big news thing. Like there'd be like a news documentary thing. So he comes on. He goes, "This is like 1976 or something." He goes, "England is screaming," and I go, "What the fuck's that?" Or yeah, 76. What is that? I was laying in bed watching, and every time he would say that, it'd be like punk rock faces and weird stuff. I was scared the fuck out. I'm like, what is this? He goes, England screaming. It's coming across the bay, coming across the water. It, it was a thing on the Sex Pistols I never heard of, The Clash, Buzzcocks, on and on. It opened doors for me, man. I was going, whoa. Here I am listening to the Allman Brothers, which I love, and the Grateful Dead,
Yeah.
whatever. I love all that shit. But when I seen that, I had like goosebumps, you know. And there was a little record shop in Berkeley called Rather Rip Records. Yeah, all the imports, everything. They had the imports. I went there and there was a little 7-inch record, Sex Pistols, Anarchy. And I go, oh, I'm gonna buy this, man, because I heard about them on TV. And I go, oh, whoa, what's this? Oh, the Damned. Who? I was just going,
Oh yes, I've got a soft spot for the Damned.
oh man. So I bought a bunch of little singles. I went home, shut the my. I told my wife, go shopping with the kids. I went home, turned it on. I go, I was air guitaring, man. I
I
knew
did. Uh,
I was just in heaven, man. You know?
with my. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go, 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 go.
Oh no, 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 no. You are in charge. I'm just the humble listener. This is like a young knight sitting next to a wise mage, hearing all
Yeah,
the
right.
knowledge just dripping
So
down. I'm
I
just,
seen all that. I go, okay, this is from England. Then I found out the Ramones, okay, 76, I guess it was, 70, 75. Oh, I got the New York Dolls stuff, both their albums. And I'm going, there's something else happening. So I'll go back to the record shop, and there it is, the Ramones. I go, whoa, look at these guys, man. So I took it home. I go, whoa, look at this one. There was a band called the 101ers. It was a pub
okay.
rock band. That's Joe Strummer's band. Because the guy goes, you should listen to this. This is pub rock. I go, all right. And Brinsley Schwartz, which is Nick Lowe's first band, Brinsley Schwartz. So I was picking all this vinyl up, Ducky. Go home. Fuck. I was just in that room. My wife is knocking at the time, knocking on the door. It's time to eat, time to eat. And I was going, wait, one more. So all these records. And I got to see a lot of these bands, Ducky. I got to see Elvis Costello, Mink,
Nice.
Mink DeVille, and Rockpile in a small club called the Old Waldorf. I was just, I was just like flabbergasted. Mink DeVille, I got to meet him. I love Mink DeVille. I don't know if you know who he is.
I've heard of them, but
Oh,
I've never.
he's really great. He lived in New Orleans, and I met him several times. So I got to see all these bands, man. There's this place in San Francisco called the Temple Beautiful. And that's where, if I believe, that's where Jim Jones, uh, that was where he was at preaching at the temple. Then he died,
Yep.
but it's called Temple Beautiful. That's how, I think that's how it went. Yeah. So I got to see like the Buzzcocks and the Clash and all these bands, the Kennedys. And it was exciting. Then the following day, I went to the on. There's a place called Broadway, right in the heart of San Francisco. All the strip joints, and there's the Mabuhay Gardens, the Fab Mab. Upstairs is the on Broadway. So you have the Mab, and you're seeing like the Avengers and whatever. Upstairs, there's fucking Oi. There's the English Dogs. It's all like crazy. And across the street, it's the Stone, where there's a lot of punk rock, but a lot of metal. Because
Yeah.
at the time in San Francisco, that was the heartbeat. Metal was the heartbeat there. It really was, you know. And I started listening to some metal. And I was going, man, I like this shit, man. So I went to go see Exodus and I forgot who
Yep.
else.
I've seen them.
Blind Illusion. And I was going, fuck, how did these guys play that fast, So I was like a sponge, like an octopus, a sponge trying to grab, eating, man. And then this is what cracked me up. Then I go home, think I'm gonna listen to some Motorhead, which I really love.
Yes.
So I
Rest in
go
peace,
home,
Lemmy.
my ears are splitting. So I go home because I live in the Tenderloin now. This is a place called the Tenderloin. Uh, well, I live in a nice little apartment. You're right in the heart where all the pimps and hookers and punk rockers, and I really loved it. So I would get home after watching like Motorhead at the old Waldorf. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna go rock out. No, I get home, get a cup of tea. I'm listening to Miles Davis. I put Miles Davis on, and I was like, I had the best of both worlds, man. This mellow. Look down. I'm on the third floor on my little terrace, watching the hookers go by. Fist fights. That was the time, man. Back in the '80s, middle '80s. You know, that was the time. You know.
I don't remember much of the 80s.
Yeah.
What I do remember, I love.
Yeah.
Most of my teenage years was in the 90s. It
Yeah.
was it was okay. I didn't get big into grunge. It didn't appeal to me as much.
Yeah. 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 I got you.
Um, like I said, after hearing the Misfits,
Oh
punk
yeah.
music took over my life.
I got to see the Misfits at a place called the Stone in San Francisco. The real Misfits, Danzig and I think Doyle's with them, and there was I don't know if Chuck Biscuits with him or Robo. I think it might have been Robo. And I mean, that's that famous show. I think where a kid was trying to get on stage and Doyle hit him over the head with the guitar, almost cracked his head open. That was you go online, they'll tell you about the whole story and stuff. And I liked it. It was kind of violent, but then I didn't like it because the kid was trying to get away. Now he's getting his head cracked up, And these guys are big, man.
Oh yeah,
But
Doyle's huge.
he's a big dude, man, and you don't want to fuck with that guy, man. But I was impressed too at the same time. I was just sitting there, fuck. And one big show I really liked was Poison Idea. Poison Idea.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Jerry's such a nice guy. We talk once in a while, and I remember when the Marys went on tour up north to Oregon, Washington, all into Canada. And I remember we were going to play at this place called the North Shore Line, North Shore Club or something with L7. And we get there and the place is burnt down. So we're going, fuck. And back in them days, Ducky, you're depending on that money to put money in your gas in your tank and hopefully get a motel room that night. The five of us would go into the hotel room. So I go, fuck. So for some reason, I had Jerry's number in my pocket. And so I put a bunch of quarters. Remember, he lives in Portland. So I put like $5 for the quarters. And by chance, he answered, hello. I go, Jerry, this is Dave from Screaming Bloody Marys. Hey, man, I'm going to be seeing you guys in a couple of days here at the Satiricon. I go, you might see us sooner. What's the matter? I told him what happened. He goes, okay, come to my house. We drive down there, and his mother owned a bunch of apartments, nice apartments. And there was a room, an apartment, one bedroom. Nobody rented it. He goes, you guys can sleep in here. But if you guys fuck it up, I'm gonna come back and kill every one of you guys. But we're
Sounds
like
like Jerry.
we're a bunch of little kids in our sleeping bags. And the thing
Sounds
about Jerry, he puts this music on. He had this like little, he plugged it to the wall, and this little red beam came out. It was like ocean music, like oceans and trees, and it mellowed you up. But he saved us on that. Jerry did. Nicest guy.
Jerry's Jerry's a great guy.
Yeah.
He was hilarious. He was awesome. I loved him.
Uh,
The funny thing was meeting him. It came out of my mouth. Maybe it was the beer I had or shots of whiskey. I was like, man, I thought you'd be taller. And he just kind of looked at me and he was like, I get that a lot.
He's got this cool sense of humor. I like Tom, which his name is Pig Champion, the guitar player Pig. I call him Tom, that was his real name. And he was the kindest guy I want to meet. Great fucking guitar player, man. Ripper on that guitar. But he died sometime later, I think of a heart attack, I'm not really sure. But I really like Tom a lot. Um, I remember we went up north again. We did a few shows with the Dwarves, and I really love that. And they were really kind, to me. I remember it was 91, 92, 91, Blood, Guts, and Pussy, the album The Dwarves came out on Sub Pop. And what sold that record was that cover, as you know, the naked
Yeah.
girl, and the rabbit and all that shit. And I went on tour with them for 6 weeks because I repaired a lot of their guitars and stuff. And I kind of ended up like almost like managing them, make sure they're together, this and that. And they treated me really good. Blag and Saltpeter and He Who Cannot Be Named and Vag. They gave me, I got paid every day, even if they didn't do a show or not, I got paid every day, you know. And they fed me, they took care of me. I took care of this shit all the time.
Yeah.
So and I went across the country, New York, went to Boston, they played the Rat, they played the Outhouse in Kansas. Uh, that was a trippy show, man, because you're going down a dirt road and it's this thing called the Outhouse. It looked like a condemned building, but you're driving on this dirt road lots of cornfields, and it got dark, dark, dark. So we get there, there's nobody there. And this door opens up, and there's this punk rock kid. Yeah, come on in, man. And Blag looked at me and goes, man, I hope we make money. There's nobody here. And all of a sudden, your eyes get fixated. There's corn patches. And you see these like human beings come out of nowheres. Zombies, Mohawks, Trihawks, leather, all kinds of shit. And that place was fucking packed. And it was crazy, you know. And those guys are really, really good dudes, you know. What is your favorite bands? Did I ask you that your favorite bands today, or do you have any young bands?
No, no. Um, the wow, my favorite bands today. Well, you are the Screaming Bloody Marys
Oh,
are high up there on the list. No, you are, because I've listened to your stuff online a lot, and I'm like, I've shared it with my wife, and my wife does not like punk music. It's something about the drumming that she teaches music for a living. She teaches
nice,
piano and drums, and she teaches vocals.
nice.
If the drums are too fast, she's like, I can't tolerate it. Like
Yeah.
some of the speed metal bands or Iron Man stuff like that, she's like, But I played her some of your stuff, and she was like, I like this. I thought I was gonna have a coronary. I was like, if my wife likes this, then it must be a blessing from God then. So something's going right in this world. Because and I love you guys a lot, like listen to your stuff a lot.
Yeah.
As far as some of the other bands goes, I still kind of go back to a lot of the classic bands. Of
Yeah.
course, I'm always going to listen to the Descendants.
Yeah.
Um, Probably, I do like Alkaline Trio a lot.
I like that band. I
They
like
put out
it.
some really catchy stuff,
Yeah.
as people call it, pop punk or whatever.
Yeah, I like it. I don't
To
care.
me, punk is punk. It just comes. It's like ice cream. It just comes in
Yeah.
different flavors.
Yeah. You know, I hate when people go, punk is dead. It evolves. It never dies. It goes through
No,
different experiences. Or like people go, where's the fucking metal at? Like, they're thinking about Black Sabbath and so forth. I go, metal's here. It's just evolved. It moved forward. It moved
yeah,
forward. It did. People go, man, punk sucks. Well, that's your opinion. Fine. And I bet you'll see it at the next pit. you know, Things move along, Ducky, as time goes on, People they'll tune the guitar like I tune mine straight 440. It'll be down, or other people will down tune it way down. You know,
yeah.
all kinds of different things happening. That's what makes the world go around. You
It's
know,
evolution basically.
exactly, man.
You need to write a book about your experiences. I would pay to read that book.
My okay, I can say it. Uh, it's been in the works for 3 years with
Let me know.
pictures, posters. It's almost like a tell-all book. Even some of the shit that I got away with, and some of the bullshit I got away with, the lies. I did some lies back in the day. I'll admit it, but it's going to be in the book. It's gonna it's gonna evolve. Like I did this and that. I went to jail. I lied. This and that, and I seen this and I did that and I've done that. It's going to be. Yeah. We're looking at it to come out in about another year.
I will be more than happy to buy it and read it.
And I'll get you one. And Jillian, my girlfriend's behind all that. I call her my wife. We've been together for 10 years.
That's your wife.
Yeah,
That's
it's
how
my.
I look at it. It's your wife.
But I am gonna make that's happening. And I'm gonna tell all. You get my age, you tell all, and you don't give a shit no more. It's
That's the
just
best part.
you
That's
know.
why I like talking to older punks, because it's those nuggets of truth and the
Yeah,
wisdom
yeah,
that really,
right.
like, a lot of some of these new bands, a couple of people I've talked to here and there, they're like, oh, well, they didn't like our sound. Maybe we should fuck it.
Fuck
The
that
whole
shit.
point the whole point of being punk is not conforming to anything, being yourself,
Yeah,
going against the grain.
yeah. Go against the
That's
grain.
the point.
That's the point, man. That's when people go, "Oh, they suck because." They sound like this, they do that. One of the things I admire in the Sex Pistols, I'm going to switch a gear here. Everybody, we all knew Sid couldn't play a bass,
Yeah.
but it wasn't that. He plunked it. Once in a while, he hit the right chords once in a while. He was the poster child of
Oh
punk.
yeah.
He had the look, he had the mousy attitude. He was way famous to me, way more famous than the Sex Pistols in itself.
Yeah.
Kid, I seen a kid who was 14 had a Sid Vicious t-shirt. I said, you know who that guy is? Yeah, Sid, man, this and that. That kid knew because they go and look at Google, they go look on YouTube. But, you know, he didn't know how to play bass. I just like watching him, snarl, the old snarl thing.
Yeah.
And he got that from Johnny Thunders. He made it in one interview because Thunders always had that snarl, you know, you know. But
I,
I really like that band. But like bands today, I watch bands quite a bit. I'll get invited. Hey, Dave, want to come out? I'll put you in the guest list. No, no need. I'll pay. I don't want to be on the guest list. I can pay. Fuck it. I'll see some bands that really like. Wow, I like these guys. You know, you know. There was a band I really liked a lot called the Hyperdrive Kittens. They're out of San Francisco,
okay.
and I know the original Hyperdrive Kittens. There was a young man named Lee. He passed away in his sleep years ago, and Janine, the singer, we talked on the phone, and I go, what are you going to do now? She goes, I don't know. Lee's not with us. I go, how many people in your band? I go, I got this person, that person. Fuck it.
Continue on.
Just continue on. You're singing, right? Yeah. You got a guitar, you got a bass player, you got a drummer. Now they're playing here and there and everything. And that band to me has a little bit of punk, a little bit of cabaret. I call it a little bit of Toontown, Jessica Rabbit type shit. And I really
Nice.
like that band. I like the band called Get the Wall. My bass player's other band. They're really good. They're political and they believe in their shit, man. They
Yeah.
believe in shit. They don't do it because it's fashionable. They eat that shit, man. You know, I like that band. What else? There's a bunch of bands. God, I can. I know that there's a band in San Francisco came out in the late '70s called the Victims. With a singer named Nina. They're called Victims. I like them a lot and stuff. Um, Rock bands. There's not many rock bands around that I like because it all sounds the same.
Yeah. I will say that.
And I'm going to be
I'm
prejudiced because if I listen to a band, like, Ducky, there's a lot of cover bands, which is fine.
yeah.
I counted online about 12 Led Zeppelin bands, different names, or a lot of Kiss bands, a lot of Ramones tribute bands. And I think there was a Ramone band called the Ramonas, and I was really impressed out of San Francisco in the mid '80s, and Joey Ramone christened them, and they were really fun to watch. And then there was a Kiss band. Um, I don't like to use that word midget because I like
Mini
little.
kiss. I think
Yeah,
that's what they
mini
call it.
Kiss.
Mini kiss.
I laughed. I was what? And there was a Hispanic band called Metalachi, like Metallica, but they do all like mariachi, the big violins and all that, and they do none but Metallica with the big giant sombreros, and those guys sell out all the time. They come here.
Have you ever heard of the band The Bronx?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Their side project, Mariachi El Bronx.
Oh,
Have you
really?
heard? Yeah, they
No.
have it's full-fledged mariachi music, all the guys in the band, and it is awesome. They I love it. And a friend of mine was like, they're not hardcore punk in this band. I was like, they're not supposed to be. Look at
That's
the name, mariachi.
yeah. You're not supposed to be.
they're not supposed to be. They're being a mariachi band. I was
The
dude,
funniest
open your.
thing, I'm switching a gear again. I switch gears a lot. I watched a documentary the other night, Metallica, uh, when they trying out bass players and they had Trujillo joined them. I was impressed with that documentary, man. I wasn't really impressed with him hiring a fucking psychiatrist just sitting on the session like $1,000 an hour or whatever the fuck they're paying him. And
Mm,
the whole
yeah.
James Hetfield, there, he was breaking down and shit like that. Um, but I like some of their albums. I was
They've
never,
got good albums.
I wasn't really a deep metal guy, but I like that one album, Kill Them All, or
Kill 'em all.
I was, I picked that up. You're gonna laugh. I picked it up about a month ago. Listen to it, I go, shit's good. Let me tell you a story.
What? Uh,
You got a minute for a story?
just 1 second. I'm gonna pause the recording for just a second, and we're back.
Okay, so I used to rehearse at a place in that little town Hayward down the peninsula here, called the Hayward Rehearsal Spot. It was a big ice company, and the little ice rooms. That's where their studios are at. And I remember a lot of metal bands were there, and the Marys were just starting in a sense. And I remember what's the bass player from Metallica, which is sad. He died.
Cliff.
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 Yeah, he died. So a couple of months later, the studio guy that owned it, he asked, "Hey, can you guys move in this part of the studio rent free?" I go, "Rent free?" Metallica wanted our studio because it was really huge, big. I go, "Wow, okay." Well, they paid for our rent for 2 months. They were trying out bass players, Les Claypool,
Oh
that,
yeah.
that guy Twiggy from Marilyn Manson, on and on and on. And we got to see some of these guys come in, you know. And of course, they got Newstead, right? Yeah, Jason.
Jason who said, yeah.
And so I remember when it was all said and done, right? We went into that studio that was ours, and it was all mess, man. It had old Marshall busted up cabinets and all kinds of shit on the floor. I was collecting all kinds of the picks and shit. Okay, no, I can say it. I was a little thief. There was a couple of Marshall cabinets in there, and I was watching them. I go by and I look in there. They were there for like almost 2 weeks. So I go, I'm not grabbing. I got one of those cabinets and took it home.
I mean, it's not a thief if they're not going to use them or take them and just leave them.
And I took it. And I remember the guy that owned the studio goes, "Hey man, you guys, anybody see a Marshall cabinet? There's missing, and it's Metallica's." I go, "No, we never seen it." But I took it home. And sometime down the road, I ran into Hetfield over there in San Francisco in the Polk Street area. And we started talking and this and that. And he knew the Mary's name and stuff. I go, "I got to be honest, man. He had a Marshall cabinet in one of the rooms." He goes, "What? What are you talking about?" I go, "Well, I took it." He goes, he shook he hits his shoulders and go, "All right, have fun." And I was that was
Nice.
that was I got away with it because back in those days, man, equipment was expensive. You can't afford equipment, man. It was expensive back those
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll,
And
um,
it was expensive. So I took it.
I'm lucky enough that my father-in-law left me all his music equipment, and all this stuff is like from the 70s,
Wow.
vintage. It's all vintage amps, vintage basses, guitars,
Wow.
and my wife, well, he left it to my wife, of course.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
she was like, "This is yours. You can have them." She's like, "If you would just fucking start playing music." And I was
yeah.
like, And finally, I told her finally this year I'm going to break down and actually start doing stuff. I told her it's time I
You
get
should,
out and
you should
get
do that.
over everything that happened. And
Yeah, just do it. I would say, man, it's up to you to create your destiny. You know, pick up the guitar, bass, and just plunk it. You have a daughter with 20 years old or 19, or
19 years old.
influence her. Have her play
Oh,
guitar.
she plays bass.
You
She's a better bass player than I ever was.
always like my dad was always against me on playing music. I mean, he wasn't against me. I thought it was wrong, but he wasn't supportive like my mom was. And you know, my kids now, like Alan, he collects low riding cars. He's a mechanic. He knows all that shit, man. And David, he's retiring and stuff. And he doesn't know how to play guitar or anything, but he likes collecting records.
Yeah.
But it's Max, drummer and stuff. And I back him all the time. When I think he was 9 years old, I bought him his first drum set at Premiere. Little dude, man, but he's back there just like pounding away. You know. So I always back kids up in music. Anything that's constructive. If they want to be a fucking race car driver or whatever, or if they want to be a mechanic or a garbage hauler or whatever, I back them up. I back everybody up on that.
And that's the way a father should be.
Yeah.
That's the way I am with my kids. Like
Yeah.
all of our kids except for our son,
Yeah.
and even now he's actually starting to come around. They all play an instrument.
Yeah.
It's a musical family. Like my wife is amazing on drums. She's an amazing piano player.
I play piano upright. I like the acoustic upright.
Oh yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that.
As soon as we get all this shit moved into this house and get it going, and finally start putting things up, I'm so tired of this. It's like, man,
I just, you know, before we go and part ways, I'm going to continue playing music, supporting bands and supporting the arts and stuff like that. You know, I'm in like 5 books right now. There's a thing called the Johnny Thunder monologues or whatever. They just came out with people's stories, and there's pictures of me with Johnny and stuff. And I'm in the Chatterbox book. What else? CBGB's second book. There's just a bunch of these little books that are coming out. And I go, oh wow, look at that. you know. So, and of course I'm gonna go buy it and stuff.
yeah.
I finally
Shit,
got in
man.
the punk rock museum in Vegas.
How was that?
It's pretty exciting. A lot of stuff. It's vast. New York punk rock, and there's a San Francisco punk rock, LA, different parts of the country had their own scenes. You know, the Boston scene, had like Slapshot and all those kind of bands. But yeah, there's a couple of posters that our names on it and stuff like that. That was kind of nice, to see that. You know, but and after we have our chat, I'm gonna go downstairs and do a few things. What I do at night, I lay in bed, put on the TV, and watch an army movie. I know I'm weird, you know.
No, you're not. No, you're not. My dad did the same thing. He'd either watch an army or a western movie before
Yeah,
bed.
I'm,
So
I'm gonna watch Kelly's Heroes tonight.
there you go. There you go. I might watch that too. I mean, I
So that
I
kind of.
gotta.
But
I
I
work.
really go
Go
ahead. I'm
ahead.
sorry.
I'm sorry. No,
I
no,
was
no.
gonna
You
say I really thank you for getting a hold of me. Um, I
well,
don't know how
thank
that came
you.
about. I want to thank you about that. I hope I did good. I know there's a lot of talking of different things, but that's just who we are. We're
Does
content dads. We take care of
you
our kids, provide, you
you
know,
did great.
you know.
I'm really blessed and honored to talk to you. It's
Thank you.
thank you so much.
The same way, likewise on that. And like I said, there's a lot of up and coming bands out there, um, and wait today is it's really scary on this
Yeah.
planet Earth. One man is fucking everything up.
Yep.
It really
Yeah.
screwing it up. And it's a shame. You know, our last president, he had it calm, and nobody's perfect. You
Yeah.
know, maybe just some things that nobody liked and they were liked, but he had everything calm.
Yeah.
Now you have all these people losing their Medicaid, food stamps, all this bullshit. Yeah, You know, I was heartbroken. I don't want to get too deep, but I was heartbroken in Texas, that big flood water, and those 24 kids got drowned. They drowned. And there's no FEMA, man,
No.
you know? And Trump's celebrating 4th of July and doing his Trump dance and bullshit. He's a cunt. And then when those two, there's the husband and the wife, I think they were senators, and they got shot by that guy about a month ago or whatever.
Yeah.
Trump didn't even go and call up and see how they're doing. It's just those kind of things. I'm not used to that.
Nobody's used to it. Nobody's used to the.
I'm just not used to that kind of stuff. Because when I was a kid, you didn't see a lot of that bullshit. We were protected. Our parents protected us. Then you had the government. I've been to a lot of administrations when I was a kid.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was born in 53, right about 59. I think it was Eisenhower. Then it was, I forgot who else. And then the Kennedys came in. We had a crook named Nixon. To this day, you know, I, one guy asked me, would you have Nixon or Trump? I go, I had neither, man. You know, but it's, that'll be another day of talking politics. Like Nikki Sicky said from Verbal Abuse when Trump got in office, he goes, man, there's gonna be a lot of fucking music now written about this bitch. It's like a fucking comedy show, man.
It is. It
So,
is. It's
you know,
holy shit.
you got to do is, and I'm lazy. I have my wife text me your address or PO box and just tell me what size T-shirt you have, and I'll have my wife send you one.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
And
Was it
just
what I'm
just
gonna
just
okay.
email or go to Messenger on Facebook, whatever. But
I'm I'm gonna wrap this up, but I'm gonna talk to you just for a few more minutes after the
yeah,
recording stuff.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
okay.
please, yeah, yeah.
Once again, this is Punk Unity. I am humbly, this is amazing conversation with this beautiful, wonderful human being.
Yeah.
Even though he stole something from Metallica, we'll give him a pass. But
Oh
is there
shit.
anything you would like to say to the audience?
Yeah. I just want to say, just keep playing, have fun. Don't worry about shit, man, because when you go on stage for 30 minutes, or whatever, you're in a different whole world. You know what I mean? And I just want to shout out to a few of my friends, like Kevin from 7 Seconds, Danny from the Moans. I want to shout out to Simple Solution. These are bands. And then I want to shout out to my good friend Blag from the Dwarves, you know, and to my girlfriend Julia and Elizabeth. That's it.
Awesome. Well, everybody, remember we're all in this together. So
We are, man. So listen, you have a good one. Be safe and say hi to the missus and the children.
I will. You too, sir.
Okay, buddy. See you soon. Bye
See you
bye.
soon.